Hi, and good afternoon, America. My name is Robert C. Ayala, and I was, in my own head, a candidate for the Democratic nomination to stop Joe Biden and Donald Trump. A couple weeks ago, I thought I had terminated the campaign through a filing through the batch upload system, but that didn't actually happen, and so I've been getting calls from the FEC about whether I'm going to terminate that campaign or if I should get the updated financial reports submitted. So I believe, first of all, in Jesus Christ. He's my Lord and Savior. I'm a believer, but I'm not really a person who is religious. I don't have a denomination. I don't go to church in that sense. I just believe in John 3:16, and I try to live my life accordingly. All right, so that's really what I'm about today. However, I had this wonderful talk with this lady named Della. She works at a telecommunications company in South Carolina, and I was trying to get some internet changed over. And we somehow happened on to the Joe Biden, Donald Trump, and Kamala Harris situation. And I want to just tell you that sometimes in life, people have a way of impressing upon you. So, this lady impressed upon me. She really did. And she's got me really thinking about what's going on here in this country. We have two candidates. Now we have actually three. We had one that bowed out, Joe Biden. We have Donald Trump, and we have Kamala Harris. But I'm not going to talk about any of them. None of them, in my view, are important. What is important is you. Aren't you tired of it? Aren't you tired of the bickering? Aren't you tired of the red versus the blue, blue versus the red? Aren't you tired of identity politics? Aren't you tired of people coming to you who want your vote and they use things they know are important to you to try to secure your vote? Well, I'm tired of it too. At the end of this month, I'm going to be 50 years old. You know what I tell people? The only thing that has changed in the last 30 years for me is I pay more and I get less. I've heard all the same arguments. Democrats are this, Republicans are that. But what I haven't heard in 30 years is what any of these people are going to do for you or us. They always say they're going to go out and do this for this group or that group, but as a collective whole, they don't do anything for us. So today I need help. I want to go to the Democratic National Convention. I want to speak, and I think there should be a primary there for everybody who wants to speak and have a vision for this country. And I'm just going to dial it back to good old-fashioned the way it used to be. It's about your money. It's about your safety, and it's about your retirement and Social Security. That's it. Nothing more. On your money, I think for single people, we need to be able to make about $26,000 before the government or any state government starts taxing us. If you're married, I think it needs to be about $52,000. On your safety, we're kind of lacking on this. We have all these DEI policies that are affecting everybody but the people that they're supposed to be helping. And so what I want to do is take all that money out of that situation and redirect it to the defense of America. All of America. Not just the northern border, not just the southern border, but the eastern and western border, and those areas up near Alaska where we are going to be most vulnerable. And then three, it's simply about your retirement and Social Security. What are you doing to have money for the next day? We have way too many people drawing on Social Security. The government keeps talking about it. People keep talking about it. And nobody does anything. In fact, the Trump era of reducing the dollar value into Social Security has not been rescinded by Joe Biden or the Democratic Party. So here's a thought. If we're going to keep taking money from you, maybe we should give you the ability to actually control it. And I don't mean control it physically. I mean that if you got 7.5% coming out of your check every week, I want to give you control of that account within a larger account. And I don't want it to be mutual funds. I want it to be ownerships of stocks, bonds, things that the market can liquidate to make sure that the retirement of your Social Security and your family is sound and secure. No more just choosing one group of participants to be into a plan. If you want gold in there, you should be able to get it. If you want precious metals, there should be a way to do it. What I want to do is give you the means to divest what you want to put your Social Security earnings into, and you get the benefit of whether it win, loses, or draw, but it won't ever be a position where you completely lose it, because the overall control, the big pocket, will still sadly have to be with the government. There has to be central control on that. And then, like a Fidelity account, you can go in there and control what choices you have within the space that has come out of your paycheck. And so then if you actually go from one job to the next job, you don't have to worry about rolling over a retirement fund, because you still have the base Social Security that you have there. And then finally, it's time for everyone to stop playing God. God's the one that brings judgment and death and destruction to everybody. It's time for us to start playing Jesus. Jesus went around, he healed the hooker, he cured the sight of the blind leopard, and he sat down and had dinner with the sinner. That's what we should be doing as Americans. We should be doing what we need to do every day to make the lives of our fellow Americans better. We need to stop with this them against us. We're all in this together, and that includes billionaires. They have interest. Sometimes we forget that if you have over $1 million, you only have a few places to put that money where it's completely safe. And if you worked your whole lifetime and your family gave you money and had options for you, then you don't want to have the ability to lose that whole amount of money. You want to be able to have many different places to put it where it's going to be safe. And there's no place safer in the world than putting your investments in America. But our confidence and our competency in this place is going downhill. People are losing faith in the institutions of our government because we continue to push people like Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Barack Obama. And you know what? I'm just as guilty. I voted for Barack Obama purely because of his skin color. Because when I was growing up, Tupac Shakur rapped about how he would never see a black president. And he never did, but I did. And I was proud of that day. But in a policy position, I feel that our country has gone backwards. We didn't seem to be having so much hate between the races because of this and that. And I think fundamentally, it's one of the reasons why nobody in the New York delegation would invite me to go to the Democratic National Convention. And I also find that it's pretty odd that Senator, what's his name from Pennsylvania, is advocating not picking Josh Shapiro as a vice president. You know why we shouldn't pick Josh Shapiro as a vice president? Because Josh Shapiro didn't get elected by the nominee. The nominee hasn't been elected. The nominee hasn't had one vote cast for her. In fact, the nominee in the last primary came in third in her own state. My name is Robert C. Ayala, and I'm about you. My life and the path that it's gone through, and the reason I am who I am, is to be in service for people like you. I need help. I need somebody to help get me a ticket to the Democratic National Convention. I've reopened my campaign, and I told my friend at the communications company that if it's in God's will, then she'll become my campaign manager, and we'll find a path forward that starts putting the American people forward, because that's what this great experiment is about. It's about you. It's always been about you. It's about your family, your friends, your community. It's not about tearing them down. It's not about coming into your family and telling you what's wrong with your family and how what you believe in is wrong. Where did we get with this? We get where because the people who want real power and use it against you found a way to divide us. And I'm over it. I don't really have any problems with anybody. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate the other side. I don't think their ideas are stupid. I don't hate my side, even though some of our ideas are just bonkers. We should all be able to sit down and talk. We are the richest country ever in the universe on this planet. And we have a $30 trillion deficit where nobody knows where it's gone. Nobody even has the assets to see that 30 trillion. We just make payments on debt that we have no idea who spent it, what it got spent on, and why are we continuing to pay it off. It's time to put the American people forward. I'm sorry. I'm a Trump guy. I'm a Trump guy, but I'm a Trump guy because the alternative is terrible. That's why I'm a Trump guy. But outside of that, neither of them should be anywhere near power. We need somebody who cares and puts the American people first. All the American people first. Just like that song, North of Richmond, politicians only see miners on an island. Well, I want to see all of America, because when you keep it simple, you worry about your money, you worry about your safety, and you worry about your retirement. Those three things are more than enough, just alone, for any president to be focused. We don't need to continue to be focused on Europe. We don't need to be continued focused on sending another defense package to people who won't sit down at a table and find peace. We don't need to be going down to South America condemning election when we as a country have done nothing to foster the positive reinforcement and the energy to help a real election move forward, because we've never wanted a real election to move forward in anywhere of South America, because it's never been in America's interest. And it's never been in America's interest to have any kind of peace in South America, because the politicians seek to let our country get invaded on both sides of the table. Democrats use immigration to show the other side as being somehow racist because they want to just lock their doors at night. And Republicans use immigration so that they can find ways to have cheap labor. And so the reason why the immigration problem doesn't get solved in America is because nobody gets paid with cash anymore. Everyone has a fake Social Security number. So Social Security gets free money. All the states who tax you get free money. Everybody gets a piece of immigrants' paycheck, except for the immigrant, because we know at the end of the year they're not going to file their taxes to get that money back. So there's no incentive for the blue side or the red side to fix immigration, because both sides are playing it against you. And they both make money at the expense of you. So I don't know what year is more important. I disagree about this whole idea about democracy is under peril. Democracy is under peril all the time. There's always strong men who want to push and shove you down. But you can't do that to me. All you can do is call me names. All you can do is try to make me feel bad. But I wake up every day and I know who I am. I know who I'm supposed to work for. I know what my mission is. And whether it's the presidency or some other position, who cares? I can wake up tomorrow and I can still be for you, because that's all I've been doing for the last 30 years is I help people. And I'm going to continue helping people tomorrow. But I just think at this moment, we need to have a whole set of voices who have the ability to get up at the Democratic National Convention and put a platform forward that people can see and get behind. Please join me as my campaign has been reactivated by a telecommunications lady who impressed upon me that when you have a voice, you should use it. I'm Robert C. Ayala. Please stop by my website, send your support, and if somebody can get me a ticket to the Democratic National Convention to speak, I would love you. And if it goes any further, this wonderful lady at this communication company, well, I told her I didn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to give her to be a campaign manager, and she said she would do it pro bono. Now, I would never ask anybody to work for free, but the idea that she said it, complete stranger to me, it means something. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it doesn't mean anything to you. It means enough to me. Have a good day, folks. I look forward to talking to you soon.